Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm answering a question, or rather a DM that I got on Instagram. So somebody messaged me a few weeks ago and said, wait, you're 30 years old? How can you make a video about how you look so young? And yes, I can. And also, thank you. So I'm gonna do like a little rundown as to sort of why I look so young, whether that's like skincare routines or, eating or ecology or whatever. But first I would like to just say to precursor this video that I've not had any work done. I have not had any Botox, any plastic surgery, any implants, anything. Though I've had many facials, face peels, things like that. All right, guys, so with that said, let's move into how I look so young at 30. The first thing is diet, and it's a little bit cliche. I feel like everybody knows this, but it is really super important that you guys know that when I was in my early 20s, I had a chronic pain bladder disease called interstitial cystitis that I healed myself from. And in that process, I did a 3-month span of being 100% raw vegan. And while I was being raw vegan, it helped reset my body in such a beautiful way, though for me, didn't feel that veganism was going to be a lifelong thing. It did teach me a ton about diet and nutrition and how important the food that we eat is. The food that we put in our body is literally what is making up our body. It's creating our cells. Our cells turn over often, and we want to make sure that what they're turning over with has vitamins and nutrients in them. I will say that as the years have gone by, I don't eat as well as I ate in my early 20s, but I do feel like that was like a foundation, that like 100% organic everything, like really careful diet, and also not drinking. I really didn't drink alcohol because I was sick. It was a major inflammatory in my body. Inflammatory, I said that weird. It would create major inflammation in my body if I drank alcohol. And I didn't smoke cigarettes, never smoked cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I don't really do any of that. So pretty much my early 20s, let's say 21 to 25, my body was completely clean. Hardly any alcohol, completely organic diet, lots and lots of vegetables and green juices and green smoothies, and a lot of facials. So with that said, we'll move into facials, but just to sort of recap on that. Diet is really important. What we put in our body makes up our body, it makes up our cells, and we want to make sure that we are feeding our body the nutrients it needs, the natural nutrients it needs to really thrive and be the sacred temple that you want it to be. All right, number 2 is skincare and facials. So if you know anything about my backstory with skin, I actually have always had a huge issue with my skin. I have larger pores. My skin is quite combination, leaning more towards the oily side, which is great for anti-aging, but is not great for acne. And I had terrible acne growing up. And I still get pimples and breakouts now, but I get more of like cluttered pores, large pores. And I get really bad like circles under my eyes. My eyes are really discolored. They're like a darker color. But again, like that does come down a little bit to diet, nutrition, want to make sure you're drinking a lot of water. But for me, it is hereditary, and that's okay. We'll talk about that more later. But I've done a lot of facials, a lot of extractions, microdermabrasions, and face peels. And then here in my later 20s, I did like IPL laser facials, and then ended up doing 6 rounds of the Clear and Brilliant laser at Laserway. And I do feel like that really transformed my skin. However, I would say the cost of it was a lot. It was like $1,700 or $2,000 or something, and I made payments on it. I wouldn't say that I would, for the cost, I don't think that laser really did the value of it. but it did really make a transformation on my skin. So if that's something that you can easily afford and it's like a blink of an eye, nothing, the Clear and Brilliant laser was great. But I do find that the IPL photo facials and peels and just regular routine maintenance of regular facials really, really, really helps. Also being diligent with skincare. So I never fall asleep with makeup on. Never, never, never. My nighttime take my makeup off routine is so sacred to me. And I'll tell you 2 products that really, really made a huge difference for me. One is FP Skincare by Frankie Page. Her skincare line is expensive, but not that expensive from what it could be. I mean, you pay the same amount at Sephora, but so incredible and so revolutionary. And on top of that, I suggest that if you do try FP Skincare, which I highly recommend, and I'm not being paid by them, they don't know I'm making this video, but if you do try FP Skincare, for the first 2 weeks, take dairy out of your diet and replace it with green tea or matcha, and just watch how your skin glows in a different way. I mean, I'm so obsessed with skincare. I'm so diligent with it. Keeping your skincare routine tight, your diet routine tight, drinking lots of water. These are really important. And they're basic and foundational. I'm gonna get to the basic foundational stuff first, and then we're gonna get into some of the more energy stuff. So, and then the other brand that I love, funny enough, is Acure, which is an organic skincare line. You can find them at Whole Foods. When I first started using Acure, let's say 7 years ago, I didn't like them. I thought I liked them, and whatever was happening to my skin, I was using like a seaweed scrub. I realized after a facialist told me that using those granular beads was actually creating micro tears in my skin, which created more texture and like roughness in my skin. So I got rid of Acure. I got rid of anything that was a harsh, like beaded exfoliator, and went all chemical exfoliants, and that makes a world of difference. Lactic acid, AHAs, I don't know, whatever. I'm not like a skincare professional, but yeah, so away from granular and with chemical exfoliants specifically, game changer. So Acure now has a line called unicorn poop. I don't know. Let me get it for you. Okay. It's resurfacing dewy all day moisturizer and resurfacing intergalactic shimmer serum, and it has like unicorn root in it. Yeah, true unicorn root, glycolic acid, highlighter, peptides, and hemp seed oil. So it's all natural. And I would say that these are so incredible. I also got the cleanser for this, and I like it, but I think maybe just for once a week. It might be a little bit too much resurfacing to use these every day, but this is incredible. This is incredible. If you want really soft, really like resurfaced, cleaned out skin, those are amazing. And then yeah, FP Skincare is amazing. Okay, so the third thing is stress management. Really managing how stress affects me, because I am like a really stressed person naturally. Like I'm pretty uptight naturally. I have like some type A tendencies and definitely a lot of perfectionist qualities that I've worked really hard on my mindset to get past. But so yeah, so managing stress and being really aware that as you get stressed, cortisol releases in your body, the stress hormone, and cortisol ages you. Cortisol ages you, which is why I use meditation and breathing practices to make sure that I keep my cortisol levels low. And that is a conscious choice that I make every single day. I literally will feel myself getting stressed and be like, cortisol, breathe. And when you breathe deeply and you exhale, specifically out of your mouth, your body will re-regulate itself, and then the cortisol levels will diminish. So making sure that your cortisol levels stay low is a really important part of anti-aging that people don't really talk about that much. Okay, fourth thing is sunscreen. Always wear sunscreen. Like sunscreen has to be the most important part of your morning ritual. I don't care if you're leaving the house or not. If there's a window in your house, you need to put on sunscreen. I'm diligent about face sunscreen, and I wish I would have been more diligent about it in my early 20s and even in my childhood, because I do have some sunspots here, and here, but they've really faded over time and with the laser facials. And now sunscreen is like, it's so important, especially if you are a fair complexion like myself. We just don't have melanin. We're not cool like that. So we need to put sunscreen on to protect our fragile little face. So the next thing is the ecology of your environment. So keeping a chemical-free or low chemical home and environment is also really important in the anti-aging process. So when I buy cleaners, I tend to not buy harsh bleaches or Windexes or chemical-based or detergents. Some stuff needs it, and that I'm aware of, like I'm aware that I live in an old townhome near the beach. So it's a little bit moister here, which means that we're more prone to like mold and yellowing items. And sometimes you need chemicals to keep mold away, and that is really healthy because you don't want mold spores. That's not going to help you with your anti-aging process or with your health for that matter. Chemical-free or low chemical environments, and that includes your skincare, your shower care, your body care, all of it. Even for women, tampons, just fully organic cotton or or pads or cups, whatever you're using. Only the best for my poussoir, that's what I say. The next thing is plastic. So plastic, specifically single-use plastic, that really thin plastic that you can feel in like Arrowhead water bottles, things like that, they carry xenoestrogens, and xenoestrogens are hormone mimickers, and they really mess up your natural hormonal cycles. So just really trying to steer clear of the xenoestrogens and the plastics, drinking out of those water bottles, especially because they travel and they get warm, and then when the plastic gets warm, it actually releases more of those toxins into the water, and then we're drinking it. So clean drinking water, alkaline drinking water, avoiding plastics and xenoestrogens, really important in the anti-aging process. Now I'm going to go back to meditation and breath work really quick because we talked about it a little bit in the stress module, that thing that we talked about. Meditation and breath work is so important to the anti-aging process, keeping you present, keeping you in the moment. Again, keeps your hormones regulated, keeps you, managing stress, managing anxiety, managing depression. And when you are more even keeled and also living in a state of more gratitude and more bliss, your body reacts. We are literally physical manifestations of the inside of us. So when the inside of us is worked up and crazy and not healthy, then that's what you're going to start seeing on the outside. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of sacred practice, breathing and mindfulness that brings you back to center and brings you back to the truth of who you are. That is such a big part of who I am. It's such a big part of my anti-aging process, and I don't do it so that I remain beautiful forever, but that is a side effect of it. My looks are hereditary, of course, our ancestry and our lineage plays a part in the way that we look, but chemicals and toxins and poor diet, nutrition, and not taking care of our bodies, not moving our bodies, all of that plays a huge part as well. So it's not going to be just a great skincare routine and just water and sleep. Like, you want to make sure that you are being mindful, that you are being intentional, that you are listening to your body, that you are following your body. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is sex, orgasms, and pleasure. Now, this is actually a really important part of the anti-aging process. It just is. It creates a more radiant woman. We have way more oxytocin flowing through our bodies when we are in love with ourselves, in love with our bodies, and we are connected to our pleasure, our desires, our partner, if we have one of those, and our orgasms. Orgasms are incredibly healthy, incredibly powerful, and we are literally diminishing the shame around females claiming their pleasure. So this orgasms and sexual revolution and connection, deep connection, this is a part of the anti-aging process. And I'm not talking about like having sex with someone who you're not connected to. That'll age you faster. But let's talk about deep, true, like intimate connections with no shame and all love. That and breathing and feeling pleasure and knowing your body and allowing those love hormones to surge through your body keeps you young, makes you radiant, makes you beautiful. Dance and movement is really important as well. Just making sure that you're keeping your body moving. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's running, whatever it is. I will say that running does have an interesting effect with gravity. When you run, your face sags a little bit. So, of course, you know, like, do the thing that's best for you, but just be aware of that. But physical activity is incredibly important in the anti-aging process. And I will say that if I was better at physical activity, I might look better than I do now, but I fall off, then I get back on, then I fall off and I get back on. And that's just me. Oh my gosh, you guys, I almost forgot to mention facial massage is so important. I do have one of those little rollers. And then I also have a microneedling roller, like, that creates the little incisions in your skin as you're rolling it, and then like your skin thinks it's damaged, so it produces collagen. I have those, I use them, but I also do facial massage at night, in the mornings with my skincare routine. So like, as I'm putting on the moisturizer or sunscreen, no, just the moisturizer, sunscreen goes after. I do like facial massages upward, and I kind of just like try to follow what I see online, and I do like a lot of this down here as well, like these guys, these facial massages, and then I do like a little bit of massaging here and here. I do a lot of this type of facial massage. I need to get better at these ones. I don't really know how to do these best, so that's actually my next learning experience. But yeah, facial massage is a wonderful I keep just blah, blah, blah over my words today. That's my next experiment, is to learn how to do, or educational, whatever, to learn how to do these better. Okay, so my loves, anti-aging and staying young and staying vibrant is really an entire lifestyle. It is not just one thing that you do. It is remaining healthy, both physically and mentally, and really feeding your spirit and doing the things that you love, doing the things that feel really good, staying creative, staying true to yourself. And then, you know, eating well, taking care, sleeping well, drinking a lot of water, getting facials, all that stuff. But it is a conscious lifestyle choice to remain healthy, to remain staying in a space of sacred temple, you know, like taking care of your sacred temple. It's important, and I hate to say it, but we all want to be beautiful. We all want to feel beautiful. And the best way to feel beautiful is to do it naturally. I'm not saying anything about people who need to get filler or Botox or whatever. That's just not what I'm saying. But the way that it feels the best is when it's from truth, from health, from love, from pleasure. And then you look at yourself and you're like, wow, like I'm doing a good job. I didn't have to pay for this. I just got to be my truest self, and then it was. And that to me is really inspiring and really exciting. And yeah, and self-love and being kind to yourself is really important. So like, I've always been really self-conscious about my pores, my pore size, and when I made the conscious decision to stop obsessing over it, I stopped seeing them so much. They weren't really in my way anymore. And people don't notice things like you do. You are going to be your worst critic. You are going to say the worst things about yourself, things that nobody would say or even think, for that matter. So as long as you're being kind to yourself, your brain will choose what you see, and then that radiates out to the rest of the world, and that is beautiful. All right, if you're still here, thank you for watching. This was a long one, but I hope it was helpful. If you liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe. I make videos once in a while, not consistently, because I'm super in my feminine energy, and that's just the way it is. I also have a podcast on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify called Upgrade with Taylor. Go check it out, subscribe, leave comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I will catch you later. Bye, love.